again. If you've seen the, or assuming I get all these posted, if you've seen the last couple of videos, it was clearly Amazon Christmas here today. I shot a few videos reviewing some stuff I received, just kind of show you guys the kind of tools that I'm picking up to build the furniture with. What I needed was a random orbital sander. I didn't have one. I had one years ago and it burned out. So I've been making do so far without it by using mainly my grinder with flap discs, which has worked okay, but it's a pretty aggressive sander and it's hard to get a nice finish at all with that. And I do have a finish sander, but it's a big jump between a grinder with a flap disc and a finish sander, and really the finish sander wasn't up to the job to close that gap. Enter in the need for a random orbital sander. It spans between those very well. Still use the grinder for all my rough sanding because it's quick and easy and portable. And now that I've got my cordless one, super portable, so I can take it with me. Which brings us to the random orbital sander. I was going to get a cordless Dewalt one. In fact, I had it ordered and changed my mind and canceled the order and went with a cheaper SKIL one. The rationale was I took the savings from that random orbital sander, put it towards my cordless grinder, which, as I mentioned, I found as an Amazon warehouse deal. And the difference between this, which was about $55, and the cordless version of this from Dewalt, which was about $160, almost gave me the grinder for free. Which I will use way more in a lot different projects, not just my wood projects. Like I use my grinder, is probably my most used tool, my Cordic grinder. Sorry, I'm nodding over here as if you can see. My Cordic grinder that I've been using for years. I'm sure it's the tool that I use the most in my garage. And the cordless one will be used at least as much, I'm sure. Which brings me to this random orbital sander. This is just a SKIL, a basic sander. None of the fanciness that you can get on the more expensive ones, which are very nice. There was a Bosch corded one that I was looking at that's quite expensive, but very nice. All right, so what do we got here? We've got manual, came with it. Put that in the box. Came with 3 sheets of sandpaper, very nice. I have some in the garage, but we'll do our trial with these. So what do we got? A 120, a 120, and a 120. So we have a wide selection of 120 grit sandpapers. We have our dust collector. Very fancy looking dust collector. SKIL X-Flow dust collector. Woo, sounds fancy. And of course the sander itself. So I'd like to give this thing a try. Sure, I've had it out of the box for 30 seconds and I've already got stuff in my hook and loops. Brilliant. All right, let's throw one of these on, line up the holes a bit so we can try the dust collector out too. There we go. All right, so the wording is that way. I'm assuming that's the way it goes. Looks like it just... Oh, there's a little groove there. Just pushes on. All right, so the writing actually goes up, not sideways the way I thought it did. Yeah, it can't go the other way. The handle will be in the way. All right, so this has a variable speed, usual spot, easy to get to with your thumb while you're going. Oh, a nice click at max, so you know when you're there. All right. Let us get a piece of wood in my log vise and give this a try. What do I have for wood? Alright, so I've got a piece of wood in here. It's a piece that I cut with a chainsaw. If I was doing this, using this in a project, I would use the grinder with a flap disc first to smooth this out. But just for this trial, we'll just try it with the random orbital sander on something way rougher than I would ever attempt to use it with, just to see how it performs. So let's give it a try. Oh, I get the cord all wrapped up here. Oh, nice. The switch is also rubber ring closed to keep the dust out of it. A lot of times with something like this that has a fine dust, it can get into those switches and really mess it up. It's a nice touch for a basic cheap sander like this. Oh, fantastic. Oh, yeah, that worked fantastic. Really happy with that. So, you can see, like right here is finished smooth already. And that was starting from horribly rough wood. That did a great job. So that was sandpaper that was too small. That was 120 grit. I mean, this should have been 60 grit or probably. At the very least 80. And that still took that off really nicely. Way better than I was expecting, considering how this wood was to start. This is exactly the tool I needed. So do we have any? Oh yeah. So it did a bit of dust collecting. I am actually, as funny as it sounds, going to read the manual and see how this dust collector is supposed to be set up properly. It is a funny, I don't know if you can see it now that I got dust in there. It's got a funny shaped thing in here, and I don't know if I've got this set up properly or not. So you can see there's some dust in there. Did a pretty good job. There's not much dust around here. We're outside, so it's hard to tell what percentage of it picked up, but I don't see any fine dust down here, just the stuff left from my drilling I was doing here earlier. Anyway, for a $50 or $60 tool, whatever this was, I think it was mid-50s. Really happy with that. Look forward to using it in projects and making my life a lot better. This is going to be a great for between that step between the grinder and finish. Fantastic.
Hey, this is just a quick follow-up at the end of that video. Since I shot that, I've had a chance to use the sander in a couple of projects, and it really works well. I'm very impressed with it. The dust collector does work properly now that I've got it figured out how to use it, and it works really well. It collects quite a bit of dust. The only thing you have to be careful of is to make sure you empty it out when it's about half full. Otherwise, it kind of starts to jam up a bit. That's probably pretty standard with any of those. Yeah, really happy with it. Look forward to using it in a lot of projects coming up. Please subscribe. Talk soon. Bye.